structural and experience on various engineering projects in wet infrastructure, complex hydraulic structure, design build project, commercial and industrial project, and also providing the engineering services during the construction on various projects. I have worked through the phases of project from concept development to detailed design. I am working with different region like US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Middle East. My role is creating structural 3D model and 2D sheets, coordination with other discipline such as mechanical, electrical, HVAC, using Revit software. Okay. Then regarding my education and membership, so I am a B Civil, and I got a T. I struck T Institution of Structural Engineers UK. My specification is water, wastewater, building, steel structure, plants. Then software knowledge. Yeah. So first of all, Autodesk. So in Autodesk, you can say AutoCAD, Revit, Structure, Naviswork. Then Bentley, MicroStation, Structural Modeler, EcoSim, Building Designer. So these are all things software related. Okay, so I will just share my screen. Let me know once you see my screen. So guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, no, sir. Okay, so who said no? Can you check again?
Yes, sir.
It is visible, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So this training is basic Revit training. Okay, and these are the content here. So first topic is collaboration. Okay, so in that collaboration we can see create and modify the levels. Okay, so suppose if you working on G+3 buildings, so you need to add levels. Okay, or you can just modify the levels. So we will see in this topics. Then create and modify structural grids. Okay, so
सर नेटवर्क इशू सर, आपका जो वॉइस है ना जो काट काट होके आ रहा है.
बाकी को भी प्रॉब्लम है, सेम प्रॉब्लम.
नो सर.
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
आई थिंक आपका नेट का प्रॉब्लम होगा.
ओके.
Okay, so if you working on G+3 or any structure, and suppose if you want to add grids and levels, okay, so we will see how to create the add the grids and levels here. So create and modify the structural grids. Then import AutoCAD files into Revit file. Suppose if you got some inputs from architectural or any other discipline as a just your in project inputs. Okay, so in the format of DWG file, so you can export this file in Revit software, and you can create your 3D model on the basis of CAD file. Okay, so CAD file mostly 2D drawings, but you can create just 3D just as a reference from AutoCAD file. Then control the visibility for the object. So those things I will show you how to control visibility for the object. Okay, so those are the points for collaboration. Then after that, documentation. Then we will see using the temporary dimension how to add the temporary dimension. Then annotation. Okay, so suppose if we add some structural column, beam, slab. Okay, so we have option for tagging, so you can give the annotation. So for example, if I add some column, so I will assign the tag for column C1. Okay, so suppose I have add 500 by 500 column size, so I have given the tag for that column is C1. Then next column 800 by 800, so I will give C2. Okay, so all those things we will see in annotation beam. Then add and modify the text annotation. So mostly we are representing our information, drawing information in text format. So we will see how to add the text. Okay, and you can assign the as per your requirement font size. Okay, then you can give the text for the notes, then annotations. So those things we will see one by one. Then add and use the dimension and dimension label. So we will see how to give the dimension between the two object. Then detail components, then create and modify column schedules. Okay, so these are all column schedule, footing schedule. Okay, so we will see how to provide the suppose, for example, if I add some structural members c1, c2, c3. Okay, so I will provide a column schedule for column, then footing schedule for footing, then beam. Okay, so these are all integrated. Okay, so we will see once I have given the tag for a certain structure element. Okay, so you can create a schedule for that. So deeply we will see when we will come on these topics. Then this is the part of modeling. Okay, so we will see how to model column, how to model walls, how to model footings. Okay, all structural component we will see how to create the 3D model or how to add in 3D. Okay, so these are all modeling things. Then these are the views. Views means you can create a views along with 3D, and you can place this view in your 2D drawing. Okay, so if you create some 3D model, so you can create also 2D drawings in this Revit. So in Revit software you can create 3D as well as 2D. Then create a framing elevation, then use a call out views. So all those things, 2D related things, we will see one by one. Okay, so let's see, just open our Revit. So I hope everyone has installed on your laptop or desktop Revit software. So if you have already installed, so you can see this icon Revit 2018. Okay, so if you double click, so this window it looks like. Okay, so then you can see here project. Okay, so new, first is open. So if you have already create, okay, so you suppose if I click here open, and suppose if you have already create, so if I go to here and Revit training. Okay, so this you can see this is our Revit template. Okay, so you can see, so if you have already create, so you can just go here open and open your existing created Revit file. Okay, or if you don't have create any Revit file, right, so you need to click here new. Okay, so these files is my existing file, so this is my projects, different projects. Okay, but I want to create a new file. Okay, so click here on new. So once you click here new, so this is project template, new project template. Okay, so you can click here. So these are all different template here. Or if you want to load any specific template, Revit template. Okay, so you can just click here browse. So once you click on your browse, okay, so if you install Revit on your laptop, so this files is automatically download on your C drive. So if you go to here C drive, then program data, then Autodesk, Revit 2018, then if I click here Revit 2018, so these are all different files for Revit. And if you click here template, okay, we need a template file for creating the Revit file. Okay, so click here template and click here, suppose I will click here India. Okay, so these are different template files. So if you see here, the extension is .rte, means Revit template file. Okay, so you can see the different so this is for the mechanical, this is for the plumbing, and this is for structural. So in structural you can see both imperial and metric. So most of our project units is metric, so we will go with that, structural analysis metric. Okay, so I will select this one, right, structural analysis default metric dot rte file. Okay, so once you select this, so click here open. Okay, so my template file as per my requirement, so I am or we are working for structural discipline. Okay, so that's the reason I have select this structural analysis default here. Okay, so this is my structural template file, so you can see this is rte file. Okay, so I will select this. So once you load your RT file, click here OK. Right. So you can see this is your template file. So if you see here, okay. So once I click or once I open, so first of all, you need to save this file. Okay. So click here file and click here save. Right. So initially this file, it was .rte Revit template. Te means template. And once I save this, okay, so suppose I will give the name for this file test1. Right, I will give the name test1. Okay, and you can give your location. So suppose I want to give the location on desktop Revit training. I will create a new folder here with today's date. Today is 0410.2025. So okay, and I want to save this file here. Okay, so I will give the name test1. So this is my file extension. So if you click here, so RT file is automatically converted into the Revit file. Okay, when you save your RT file, if you give the save command for RT file, it's convert into the Revit file. And just click here save. Okay, so you can see your file name has been saved here. Okay, so your file name is test1.rte file. So you are ready to work on this file. Okay, so this is our Revit template. So you can see here different tab, files, then architectural, then structural. So this is our main toolbar here, structural tab. Then systems. So mechanical people working on this. So you can see the different types of cable trays, then plumbing, then pipes. Okay, then we will see structural and architectural. Okay, so in structural, so if you go here in structural tab, so you can see beam, wall, column, floor, then truss. So we will see each and every option how to model this. But before going that, if you open this Revit template, we have two two what will two bar here. One is a properties bar and one is a project browser box. Okay, so here is a property. So suppose if you select any element, so all properties regarding that element you can see here. And here project browser. Okay, so you can see here levels. Okay, so different levels. Then here 3D views. So you can see your 3D view, how to look your model. Okay, so suppose you have option here also 3D view, default 3D view. If you click here, so this is our 3D view tab, but you can't see any because we haven't add any element, right? Then these are all levels, right? And these are your 3D view. And here elevations. Okay, so I will take one example here. Sorry, paint. Okay, so suppose this is my building, right? And these are all levels. So suppose this is ground level, this is first level, then this is second, then third, and then fourth, fifth, and then roof. So this is my level. So all the verticals here, these are levels. Okay, so you can see here levels. And if you add some grid, so suppose you need to add grid here, vertical and horizontal. So suppose this is grid A and this is A. So this grid and this level you need to add in your model. So you have option here. Okay, so you can see structural plan. So this is different plan. Okay, and grids. So you need to add those things. Okay, so first of all, we will see how to add the grids. Okay, so if you want to add the grids, you need to click on structural. Okay, and you need to go here level. So these are by default level. Okay, so suppose, and these are all elevations. So you can see all elevation you can see here. So this is east elevation, north elevation, south elevation. So if I add some model, so you can see all four direction. So if I click here east elevation, so this is east elevation, and you can see by default level has been added here. So this is level 0 and this is level 3, means this difference between this level 1 and level 2 is 3, but you can modify. Okay, so just take an example. We need to create some building 3D model G plus 3. Okay, and we have fourth story building, and after that roof. So we need to add those things. Okay, so first of all, you can see I want to create the model for this building. Okay, and I have level. So one more level we need to add foundation levels. Okay, like that. So this is my foundation level. This is my ground floor level. Then this is first floor, second, third, fourth, fifth, and this is my roof level. Okay, so you need these levels, different levels. Okay, so for example, my ground level is 0 here. The level is 0, right? And suppose this footing top of foundation is minus 3 meter or minus 2.5 meter below the ground level. Okay, so this is minus 2.5. So as per your requirement, you can add your levels. So simply what we need to do, you need to suppose this is my level first and this is my ground level. Okay, so 0 level. So you can click here on this level. Okay, and say here ground level. Ground level. Okay, simply yes. So would you like to rename these views? Yes, you can say yes. So you can see this is my ground level. Okay, and this is my first floor level, and you can just consider level and first floor height is 3.5. Okay, so you can change here. So if you click on this level, so this temporary dimension is appear here. Then simply you can click on that values and you can give your value as per your requirement. Suppose this is 3.5 meter. So you can see this value is also changed. Okay, if you want to measure, so type DI. DI means dimensions. Okay, so you can see shortcut command. I think we have already post on our material folder, so you can download from there. Revit shortcut commands. So if you give the DI command, so you can activate dimension. So type DI, so you can check the dimension here. So this is 3.5 meter. So all dimension set in this file in mm. Okay. Then two levels I have. Then you can rename this. So just double click on this text and you can give here first floor, right? So this is your first floor. Suppose I want to add more level. Okay, so how to add the levels? So you need to go here any elevation and click on structural tab button here and you can see the levels here. Okay, here go to structural tab and go to right hand. So this is a level option. So click on that. Okay, and suppose I want to add below level here, right? So you can see by default is take next level and this is my foundation level. So you can say foundation level. then S, right? And suppose foundation, my foundation is 1.5 meter or 2 meter below the ground level, then you can change this value. So suppose I want to change this value. Okay, so select this level, those level you want to change, and you can simply your add your inputs 1.5. So you can see this is 1.5. Suppose if you want to add 1.8 meter, so you can just give 1.8 meter. So you can see this is minus 1.1800 below the ground level. Suppose I want to add more levels. So we have option, go to the structural and click levels. We have other option also, click this level, any level, and say right click and say create similar. Okay, and then you can add your levels. So this is my second floor level. Again, I want to add, this is my third, and this is my fourth level, and this is my, you can say, roof level. Okay, you need to rename this. Okay, so this level is done, ground level is done, then first floor, and after that second floor. So this is my second floor, and first floor, distance between the first floor and second floor, my floor to floor height is 3 meter, so I will give the 3 meter. Same, second to third, so you can give third floor, and second to third also 3 meter height, floor to floor height. Then again fourth level, so you need to just add floor, and also here 3 meter height. You can give any height, 4.5, 6 meter, 7 meter, whatever as per your requirement you can change. And last is here roof level. Okay, and I want to give 3 meter height. Okay, so these are all levels. So levels are done for my project or my task. So if you see, if I add the levels, so this level is also added in your structural plans. Okay, so this is my elevation. Okay, and this is my plan. Suppose I want to go to work on plan, so just double click on that, so you will be on floor plan. So this is your plan, first floor, then foundation. Okay, then suppose I want to go here foundation level, so click on foundation. All the levels look same because we haven't add any component here, so that's why you are looking same floor plan for this. Okay, so for example, if I go to the foundation level, once my level is done, then I want to add my grids. Okay, because I have designed some number of columns, number of footings. Okay, and I have assigned the grids for that. So how to add the grids? So go to here again, structural tab, then just below the grids. So if you see, the level option is freeze here because you can't add the levels in plan. Okay, means plans is your horizontal and our level is vertical, so you can't add here levels. So if you want to add levels, so you should go in your elevations, and then you can see the levels is on here, and then you can add. Okay, so if you go to again foundation plan, and if you go to the structural and click here grids, okay, and then you can add your grids. So suppose this is your first grid. Okay, so you can see this is my direction mark here. So this is west elevation, then this is the east elevation, then this is the north elevation, and this is your south elevation. So this tab is connected to this elevation. Okay, so suppose if I add any structural member here, and if I go to here west elevation, so this elevation we will see from this direction. Okay, so all four elevation you can see here. Okay, so this is your grids, right? So suppose I want to give here grid A, right? Then I want to create another grid. So you have option, you need to go structural and click here grids like that, and you can add the grids. So this is my B, then this is my C grid, and this is my D. So you can see automatically alphabet take the next alphabet take A, B, C, D. If I add new grids, so click any grid and say right click and say create similar, and you can add. So E. Okay, so I have added 5 grids, and I want to maintain grid to grid distance. Okay, so suppose if I click here on grid B, so what is the grid to grid distance? 6 meter. I want to change it 5 meter. You can give any as per your input, 7, 8 meter, whatever. So my all vertical grids I will make constants. 5 meter. Sorry, you need to select this and then add 5 meter here. Then I want to change this. So select those grid you want to change. So once you select and then add your inputs. Similarly, E and then add here 5 meter. Okay, so you can see all vertical grids you have added. Then I want to add a horizontal grids. So click any grid and say right click and say create similar. And then I want to add a grid here. So you can see the next number is automatically taken, but I don't want to give alphabets here. I want to give the number. Then you can simply change. So this is my grid 1. Then right click and say create similar, and you can add grid B. Then you can add grid C. Sorry, 2, 3, then 4, and then 5. You can add as per your requirement. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you need to give center to center distance. Suppose my grid 1 and 2 is 6 meter. You can give 6 meter. Then 2 and 3 is also 6 meter. So you need to select 3, add again 6 meter. Then 4, this is also 6 meter. Then 5, you have already 6 meter. Okay. So these are all my vertical and horizontal grid. Once you done your activity, just save your file. Okay, so you can just press Control yes, right? Then suppose I want to give the annotation here. Okay, so before going there, suppose if you want to change this or adjust this, so you can adjust this, right? Like that. You can adjust as per your requirement, right? Then suppose if I add any grid just adjacent to this grid. So for example, I want to add one grid, and this grid is just 1 meter from this grid B. And suppose this is my grid B.1, right? But you can see this grid is clash to each other, right? But you have option. So if you select, and if you select on this, what will say add elbow, you have option. So if you select, so this symbol is you can see, and just click on that. Okay, so you can adjust your grid like that. If your bubbles is clash to each other, so you can adjust like that. Okay, so I will just remove this. Okay, then another thing, if you click here grids, so you have option here. So suppose if you want to add straight grid, so you can add the grids, right? Like that. So this is my straight grids. Okay, if you want to add this grid bubble at both end, so if you select this, right, and this box, so you need to just tick on this box, so you can add this bubble on both sides. So similarly you can add here. So if I select and click on this, if I select this and click on this icon, then click, if you select and tick on this box, okay, so you can see we have given this bubble at both side. Similarly here, add, add here, here also add, here also add, and here also add. Okay, so you can see. you can adjust as per your requirement. Okay, so you have option. You, if you want to add a grid bubble both sides, so you have option. Suppose if you don't like to add at both end, one at the one end you want to remove, so just select your grid and untick this. Okay, so you can see remove. If you want to remove here, you can see this is only grids. Okay, but if you want to add, so you can see below or top as per your requirement. Okay, so if you go again grid, and suppose sometimes if you want to add your grid in curve portion. Okay, so select, then suppose my grid is first point, second point, and third point, so you need to give your radius like that. Okay, so curve grid also you can give. If you want to give the grid bubbles at both sides, so you have option here. Okay, go again, then this is the same also curve. Suppose if you want to add some curve. Oops. Okay, go to grids and you have option. This is start end radius and this is your center end radius. So if you see, it looks like, so you need to give the 2 points, right, like that. Then you can add your grids. Then here, okay, center end radius. Okay, so if you see the videos, so center and radius. Then suppose if you have already line here. Okay, so if you want to add the some reference line, so type RP, reference plane. Okay, so this is just for reference. So if you take a print, so this lines is not come on your PDF or on your drawing because this is the reference plane. So if I select this, so you can see in properties, so this is reference plane. Okay, and along with that, I want to add the grid. So click here and you have pick line option. So select and then select this line. What happened? Okay, I will just okay. So if you have already line here, okay, and you want to add the grid along with that, so you have option pick lines. I don't know what is the reason. Okay, so suppose if I add detail line, I will show you what is the purpose for detail line and grids. And yes, so if I add a line and I want to add the grid lines along with that, so you can add. What happened? Can you please tell where it's used that reference plane? Okay, so reference plane, if you want to suppose if I want to add the member like that, okay, just for reference. Okay, and if you want to add a beam from this point to this point, so then you can add this, right? I will explain briefly when we will come on beam or column. So reference plane is just for reference. Okay, okay, so grid lines is done. Here we know how to add the grid lines. Go to the structural and say grid. Okay, then once you add your grids, then you can check all directions. So suppose if I click here east, so you can see it looks like then your grid should be cross all the grids. Levels should be cross all the grids. Okay, intersect to each other like that. So this is your east elevation. This is your north elevation. So I will just clean up this like that. And this is your south elevation, right? And this is your west elevation. So these are all different elevations. So you can see if you go to the east, so your grid 1 is to right hand and left hand is 5. Then north elevation, your ABCD here. Then south elevation, ABCD from left to right. And west elevation 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. Okay, so these are all levels and grids. So if you check on your floors, so click on floors, so you can see here. So you need to add only one times at any level these grids. So it's automatically come on all floors. So you can check any floor, ground floor, roof floor, then second floor, and then third floor. So these grid is automatically come. Okay, so grids and levels are done. And suppose if you go to here again structural, okay, and suppose I want to add the column here. Okay, I want to add a column. So I have designed the column. So this is my foundation, right? And I want to add the column like that. So let's see how to add the column. Okay, so click here column. So once you select on click on this column, so you can see the different types of column here. So this is the M concrete column, and this is the universal column. So this is steel related column. Okay, steel structure. So first of all, we will see concrete. Okay, and once concrete done, so we will start our one example industrial shed. So in that case, I will show you how to add this steel column. Okay, and if your size is not in this list, how to add in this list. Okay, so right now just think about concrete column. So you can see this is 300 by 450 column, this is 450 by 600 column, this is 600 by 750 column. So these are different column size, but as per my requirement column size is not in this list. Okay, so how to add? So first of all, suppose I will add this 450 by 600 column. So once you select and once you move your cursor in between two grids, means intersection between two grids, so it's automatically highlight. So it's ready to place your column at this location. So you need to just click. So you can see this column is added here. So suppose if I measure, so this is 450 and this is 600. But yeah, if I select here and you can see this is 450 and 600 size. Okay, but as per my size is not in this list. So suppose I will delete this and go to again column, right? So suppose I have designed a square column and size is just consider 700 by 700 or 800 by 800. Okay, so how to create 800 by 800 column is not in this list. So you can create. How to create? Click here structural, click here column, and click here edit type. Okay, click here edit type, and first of all click here duplicate. So click here duplicate, and then you can give your size here. So this is 800 and this is 800. Okay, and so your typing has been copied. Okay, and you need to change that your dimension. So you can see here B and H dimension. So just click 800, just change here 800. Yes,
Sir, excuse
yes.
me. Sir, could you please tell this process again
Okay,
of changing the dimension of the column?
okay. Yeah, yeah. I will repeat this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Welcome. Okay, so if I go to here column and my requirement column size not in this list. Okay, so you can choose or you can select any column size, concrete column, right? And you need to click here edit type. Okay, so once you click here, so this type properties box is appear. So this type property is applicable for this 450 and 600. You can see the type 450 600 and dimension is also 450 600. So you can copy this. So copy means duplicate. So you have option here duplicate. I want to duplicate this type. Okay, so click here duplicate. Once you duplicate, so this box is appear. So first of all change your type name as per your requirement. So I will just my as per my reference I will give here 800, sorry, 800, and here also 800, and remove these two. Okay, so this is my new column size, and say okay. So you can see this column size is created. I have copied this type for 450 by 600. I have copy and rename here 800 by 800. Okay, and then after that you need to change the dimension for B and H also. So here just change it 800, and here also 800, and click here OK. Then if you check in this list, so this 800 by 800 has been added. And if you ready to draw here, or ready to keep, or sorry, ready to place on your drawing. Okay, so you need to load first, right? And just move your cursor in between two grids and just click. So you can see this 800. If I select this, so and if you check the properties, so you can see 800 by 800. And if you want to check the dimension, click here edit type 800, B and H 800. Okay, so I have create this 800 by 800. If you want to check the dimension, type DI, and you can click this side and this side. So this is 800. Okay, then next is if I click here. Okay, so 800 by 800 column has been added here. Okay, so then if I check the west elevation, how it looks, so click on that west. So you can see your column has been added here. Okay, but this column is placed in wrong levels. Okay, because my foundation level is minus 1.8 meter and this going below here. Okay, so you can modify this. Okay, how to modify? So select and click here properties. Okay, then if you see here base level of this column and base offset from this column, and top level of this column and top offset of this column. Suppose I want to add this column. Okay, so this is my foundation. Okay, and I want to add this column. So this is my foundation level, and I want to add this first floor up to first floor, and here is the ground floor, right? I want to modify this column, right? So if you click on any proper element, so you can see here properties box in Revit. Okay, so suppose this is foundation level. So if you go here, so you have option here. If I click this column, so you can see this is the base level and this is the top level. So you can give here. So base level is my, here base level is foundation level and top level is first level. Okay, and suppose if you want to add some part above the your top level, so for example, if I want to extend this column above 100 mm or 200 mm above this first level, so you need to add some values here, top offset. Okay, similarly if you want to extend some column below your base level, so you need to add here some values but minus. So that's, you can see this column foundation level, base level is foundation level and top level is also foundation level, and here by default offset is created here minus 2.5 below the foundation level. So if I measure this, okay, so that's the reason my column is going below foundation level by 2.5 meter. But you can change this. Okay, so if I select this, base level is okay, foundation level, and I want to add this column up to ground floor, up to first floor, you can say. So if you change, you can change this. Top level you can change. So what I'll do, I will just change first floor. Okay, and this offset I will keep 0. So you can see your column has been changed. Okay, so you can see the base level is foundation level here and top level is first floor level. Suppose my foundation level has been changed for this column only, so it's going below 200. So simply you need to go here and add minus 300. Suppose this foundation level for this column is below 300 from foundation level. Okay, so you don't need to create again separate level, so you can just play with this offset, base offset dimension. So if I add here minus 300 is going minus 300. Suppose if I add minus 500, so it's going below the 500. Similarly, you can increase this also above. Suppose I want to give 300 plus value, so this column is going up by 300, like that. Okay, but if you don't want to give any offset, so please zero here, so your column is cut to cut here, right? So if you look at in 3D view, so click on this 3D icon and you can check here. Okay, so you can see, and you have option here. Okay, so there are three types: fine, medium and coarse. So if I click fine, then medium, okay, I will show you fine, and after that here visual style box here. Suppose if you want to see your column as a realistic, so click on realistic, so your column looks as a realistic. Okay, suppose if you want to convert into the shaded, so you can select the shaded, and this should be fine. If I change this medium and course, okay, so this should be fine, and after that you have option here. Suppose if you want to select as a hidden, so it looks like just lines here. Then wireframe, so you can see with wireframe. Okay, and I will go with that realistic, so your column is looks realistic. Okay, so if you go again foundation plan, so I have added this column, right? Suppose I want to add this column at a multiple location in one click. So I don't want to go again, select column and then place here and then place here and then place here. So I want to save my times. Okay. So how to add? So I will delete this. Okay. And I want to go here column. So once you go here, so you have option here. One option is you can add one separate one by one as per your requirement. If you have designed all the column sizes same at all locations, so you have option here at grids. So click here. Okay, so once you click at grids, then simply select your all the grids by taking cross window. So you can see all location column has been added at all location. So once you okay with that, so click here finish. Okay, and escape. If you exit your command, so click escape. Okay, and if you look at in 3D view, so you can see all the columns has been added here. Okay, so you set here fine, and here realistic I have set here. If you see in direction, right, so you can see all the columns is the by default. If I select, so it's a by default minus 25 2.5 below, but you can manage this. So how to manage? Okay, so here you can select anyone and right click and say here select all instances visible in view or entire project. So it means view means whatever you can see your view, and you add 800 by 800 column, it's select. Okay, or enter project. So or enter, suppose if you working on multi or big project and you have added 800 by 800 size column at 92 places, and if you want to select in one click, so you can click any one of those column, right click and say select all instances in entire project. So it means your all 800 by 800 column has been selected. Then you can modify. Suppose this 800 by 800 column is going from foundation to first level, I will just keep this 0. Okay, so you can just modify. So if you look at in your elevation. So you can see all all the columns start from foundation to first floor, right? Then after that, this column also extend up to here, up to roof you can give. Okay, so select anyone. You can select from 3D view also. Right click, then you can go here, select all instances, entire project. So all whatever or whenever you have added 800 by 800 column has been selected. You can just change. Okay, so suppose I want to give up to roof. So all the columns has been extended. If you want to check, so you can see in elevation, right? Like that. Suppose up to first floor, I want to change my column size. Okay, so I have designed 800 by 800 up to ground floor, and above that my column size is reduced. So how do that? Okay, so we have option. So I will just make it undo. So Control Z. So you can make undo. So all the column 800 by 800 stop at a first floor. So I want to go here first floor level, how it looks. So select, right click and say go to floor plan, or you can just double click here, ground floor plan. So you are now at a ground floor plan. Okay, so you can see here, and after that my column size is reduced. Okay, so up to first floor it's 800 by 800 like that, and corner, so at the corner location my column size is reduced like that. So from first to roof my column size is 600, and below roof is 800 by 800. So this is my corner condition. Okay, then in that here, in this direction, right? So I will add this at the side face here, building side. Okay, and if at the center or middle you can say, so this is by 800 by 800 and remaining my 600 by 600 column is going up. Okay, so these three criteria you can model here. Okay, so let's see, we can add here. So what I do, I will add at a three different condition, one condition here, one condition here, and one condition here. Okay, so I will add a separate column here. So click here, structural, say column. Okay, first of all, you need to check as per your requirement 600 by 600 is in this list or not, or otherwise you can create. Okay, so there is no 600 by 600. So simple, select any one of this column type and say edit type and say duplicate, and you can give your size 600 by 600 and remove these two and say okay. And here you need to add 600 and 600 and say okay. So you can see this column has been ready to add here. Okay, so if I add here, right? So if I select, if you want to check in 3D, so where is that? Okay, so you can see this 600 by 600 is added here, but at the wrong location. So you can see, so this base offset is ground level, and top also ground level. Okay, so if you check in your elevation, so you can see. Okay, so if I select, so level is base level is ground level, and top level is also ground level, and below 2.5. So you can change. My base level is first floor level, so you need to change here. So add here first, and I want to add this column from first to roof. So top level is roof level, and remove this offset as a 0. Okay, so you can see. So if you look at in 3D view, so it looks like so. And if you go to the first floor here, so your column has been added but at the wrong location. So you need to select this and just type mv. Okay, so you need to select this. Once you select this element, so this modify structure column is active, and here you can give the shortcut command, or you have option here for move. So this is for move. Okay, so you can click here or give the shortcut command mv. So select and type mv, move command, and select this corner and just match here. Okay, so this is your corner condition. Then you can select this and type CO, copy, or once you select, so this bar is active and this is for copy. So you can see the shortcut command also. So once you select your element, so this automatically load here. So you can see if I unselect this and if I select this, so you can see modify structural column, and you can type CO. CO means copy, and just select this midpoint and then add here, right? And at this location is same. So select again, type CO, but I want to paste at a multiple location. So click on this option multiple, and then you can add at a multiple location here, and you need to add here corner condition column. So select, type CO, and you can add here like that. Then once you add this column, you can just copy. Okay, so type CO and multiple option, and you need to choose this midpoint of this column, and then you can add here, then add here, then add here, then add here. Then also this column you can add. So type CO, choose the midpoint here. Okay, and then add here, then add here, add, then add here. Then again type CO. This time I will select this point. Okay, and add here, here, and then here, and here. Okay, and this is wrong location. Type MV and move at the corner. Okay, so all corner column has been added. You need to add again at the center. So select and type CO. Choose this midpoint exact between the X and Y here, and paste here, then paste here, paste, then paste, then paste here, and then paste here, and then paste and paste here. Okay, and if you look at in 3D view, so you can see you have added here. Suppose sometime you have changed the size for this column up to fourth roof, you have reduced the size, so you can just stop this at the fourth level, and you need to go at the fourth level and just add a new column again. Okay, so you can see we have added the column here. So if you check on elevation, so click on elevation, so you can see your end column it looks like. Okay, I will check again. First level, all the columns is placed at right look. Oh, yes, so this is, we need to modify. So click, just move here. If you check elevations, so you can see your, this is your corner column, and this is your middle column, and this is also corner column. Similarly for north, similarly for south, similarly for the west. Okay, so if you check again model, so your model it looks like. So next, once you done column as per your requirement, okay, and then suppose you want to add a footing. Okay, because without footing column is not stand. Okay, so you need to add the footing, but you need to go at the foundation level. Okay, suppose I have designed some combined footings, sorry, isolated footing for all columns. My column size is same 800 by 800, but if your column size is changed, so you can change. So this is 800 by 800, so sometimes you have changed 500 by 500. So if you want to create different type of column size as per your requirement, so go to here, edit type, just duplicate and give your inputs and create as per your requirement. Suppose you have 300 by 300 column, 500 by 500 column, 700 by 700, 900 by 900, 1100 by 1100. Okay, so you can create and convert your as per your requirement. If you working on multi-story building, so there are number of different column sizes, so you can create as per your requirement. So we know how to create and how to modify. So it's depend on your inputs, which column, what size, and from which level to which level is going, is on depend on all your inputs. So you can modify or you can uh, your column layout as per your requirement. Okay, so next is footing. Suppose I want to add a footing for this column. So my design is 800 by 800 column. So I have design for that 1 meter by 1 meter and 500 deep isolated footing. So if you click here structural, so you have option here isolated footing. Okay, so click here. So first of all you need to check footing as per your requirement is not or here. So here 1800 by 1800 by 1.2 by 450 and 2.4 by 1.8 by 450. So if I add here, so you can see, right? But my as per my requirement is not here. Okay, so click here edit type and say duplicate. And suppose I have designed 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter by 500 deep footing. Remove these two and say okay. So foundation thickness, my as per my requirement 500. Width same 1.2 as it is, and length is also 1.2. If you design rectangle footing, so you can give the dimension length and width as per your requirement. Okay, and click here okay, and you can see our 1.2 by 1.2 meter footing is ready to place. Okay, then 1.8 is very looks very small. So what I do, I will create again new isolated footing and say edit type and say duplicate, and I will just add here 1.8 by 1.8 and thickness as it is 500. Say okay, and you can add here 1.8 and 1.8 and say okay. So you, yeah, so this footing looks as per proportional 800 by 800. Okay, so suppose if you want to add at a single location, so the similar as a column, so just click, right? Just click. So it's this footing is automatically going to the bottom of the column automatically. If you add any level, fourth level, fifth level, but this footing is going below the column. If you check in model, so you can see, right? It's attached to the bottom of the column. So if you see on elevation, so you can see this is our 1.8 by 1.8. Okay, so due to some geological condition here, and once you add all the levels, foundation level is your fix 1.8 meter, but this column you want to change this level, only one this column. Okay, so you don't need to change this level because your remaining top of footing is disturbed. So you can change this on only one column. As per my requirement for this column, my footing is minus 1.5, means below 300 again. Okay, the same thing. So you can select this footing and go to here and add here base offset minus 300, right? Oops, so I think I have choose the wrong column. Which one? This one, I think. Okay, I will check again. Yes, so let's see in 3D. Yeah, so I have choose the wrong column. Okay, so I will just add here 0. Yes, so I can show you in 3D. Okay, so this is this level. What this level? So if you go to here annotation and click here spot elevation, so this is my minus 1.8, but only for this column I want to change my top of footing. Okay, so select this and then base you can add here minus 300. and he just getting the message. And attached structural foundation will be moved to the bottom of the column. Yes, I have told initially, if I add any footing, it's attached to the bottom of the column. And if you change the bottom of the column, so your top of the footing also change. That's the reason this message is come here. He just show you an attached structural foundation will be moved. Means your, if you change this level, so your foundation is also moved. So yes, if you click here OK, so you can see this level is going down here. So if you look at in elevations, so you can see, right, only this column, remaining column as it is without disturbing our level. Okay, so if you want to check the levels here, so this is minus 2.1, right? Similarly, if this level is above 200, so select again this column, and instead of minus I will add here above 300. So it's going up. If I measure this 300, okay. So main purpose for sharing those, if you want to change your bottom level of the column, so your footing is automatically changed, so you don't need to delete again and then add again. Okay, so I will just keep this as it is. So I will add here 0, right? And if you go to again, so I will delete this and go again foundation level. Okay, and oops, I have delete the column. So this is footing, yeah. So I will delete this footing. Okay, so go again structural and say isolated footing, and I want to add at all location in one click instead of adding at separately at each location. So go again here, add grids, and select all the uh, grids by taking the cross window. So you can see you have add the number of footings in one click as per your requirement, and then finish. Okay, so attached structural foundation will be moved. Okay, so we have given here minus 300. That's the reason getting the error. Okay, so right now if you check all footing at the one location here, so if you check in north direction, so it's the same, south also same, and west also same, right? Then if you go again, suppose all outer foundation size is 1.8 and internal, and then this internal footing is 1.5 or 1.4 you have designed. So you can convert this, you can just select, suppose I will select this, then select, sorry, this one and this one and this one. Okay, then you can just convert or just dump as per your size. So suppose internal footing I have designed 1.2 by 1.2 by 500. So you can see it looks like 1.2 or 1.5 as per your requirement. You can give the sizes. Okay, so this is isolated footing. So I think this today is our first session, and we should stop for now. So first session we can't learn too much. So today we have learned how to add the labels, how to add the grids, how to add the columns, how to modify the column height, then how to add the footings, then how to modify the footing level. So if you have any question, any doubt, so you can ask.
Yes, sir, I do have one question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I want to ask you that whenever we are adding a column,
Hmm.
so why is it happening that when we are giving the foundation level and actually the columns, all the columns are made above the foundation level.
Okay.
So why is it that the software is accepting that all the columns are going below the foundation level, and then we have to adjust it again and then bring it over the foundation level? So मतलब ये automatically क्यों नहीं हो रहा कि foundation level से ऊपर चल जाए? That's what my question is.
फाउंडेशन लेवल ऊपर क्यों नहीं जा रहा है ऐसा?
नहीं फाउंडेशन लेवल नहीं सर, जो कॉलम हमने बनाया ना
हाँ
वो फाउंडेशन लेवल से ऊपर जब हमने बनाया था, मतलब हमने जैसे इसमें दिया था तो फाउंडेशन के नीचे जा रहा था वो हर बार। तो
हाँ
ऐसा
शुरू में यस।
हाँ, तो मैं वही पूछा था सर कि एक्चुअली मतलब कॉलम फाउंडेशन से ऊपर होता तो ये सॉफ्टवेयर का इशू है कि मतलब क्या है, मैं
नहीं नहीं नहीं
समझ।
नहीं नहीं, वो उस टाइम क्या होता है, पहले हम खाली कॉलम डालते हैं ना, तो वो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो -2.5 वो लेता ही है वो। सो उसके बाद आप मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा ठीक है सर, मैं यही क्वेश्चन था सर।
Okay. So I hope everyone has installed Revit software, because what happened, Revit most practice is most important for Revit. So whatever you have learned from the sessions, and after that you should do the practice. Okay. So after maybe tomorrow, Pragya will share this session on our folder on material folder, what session material folder. Then you can download from there and you can just do the practice and then parallelly listen this process also. Okay. But the thing is, practice is most important for Revit. So whatever you can just hearing and then just see, so this is not sufficient. So each and every command you need to go in your hand. So which option where and which option how to use, so you should know. Got it my points?
Yes sir.
Yes. So I hope everyone has installed Revit. If no, so you need to just coordinate with Pragya and you need to install as soon as.
हेलो
Yes sir.
सर, मैं B58 बैच से बोल रहा हूँ। हमारा कल तक का था वो वाटर टैंक सेक्टर का था स्टैड प्रो में, आज से रिविट चालू हो गया। तो आप वाटर टैंक सेक्टर कंटिन्यू करने वाले हैं कि
नहीं
हमारा
नहीं
अभी इनकम्प्लीट है?
मैं रेविट ही लूंगा। आपको प्रज्ञा से कोऑर्डिनेट करना पड़ेगा वाटर टैंक के
क्योंकि वो
लिए।
हमारा तो ESR वगैरह कुछ हुआ ही नहीं अभी इसके अंदर, फिर वो पेंडिंग रह जाएगा ना हमारे को।
बराबर बराबर, वो आप कोऑर्डिनेट कर लो अनिल सर से, नहीं तो प्रज्ञा से।
ठीक है सर। B58 वाले कोई है क्या वाटर टैंक सेक्टर जिसका अधूरा है, इनकम्प्लीट है?
B59 वाले हमारा भी अधूरा रह गया।
अच्छा, तो एक बार मैसेज डाल देंगे ग्रुप पे, तो क्या वो रिशेड्यूल करना पड़ेगा ना उनका सब?
अभी अपना ये जो रेविट का सेशन है 13 सेशंस है, तो आपको मिल गया होगा ना शेड्यूल?
हाँ, शेड्यूल मिल गया है।
हाँ।
तो मीनवाइल बहुत सारा टाइमिंग है, मतलब आपका एक बड़ा स्लॉट है, इसके अंदर भी रिशेड्यूल हो सकता है फिर।
हाँ, तो उन्होंने एडजस्ट किए हैं शायद।
हाँ, 8-10 दिन का एक स्लॉट है आपका एक, शायद मेरे ख्याल से।
सर आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन।
हम्म।
सर ये रैबिट स्ट्रक्चर जो है, इसमें हम लोग को स्ट्रक्चर से रिलेटेड इसका क्या स्कोप होता है? इसमें मतलब इसमें रैबिट का क्या वर्क होता है स्ट्रक्चर?
यस सर, अगर आप मल्टी डिसिप्लिन प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, यानी कि आपके साथ अगर मैकेनिकल, इलेक्ट्रिकल, HVAC है, तो आपका जो मॉडल है कोऑर्डिनेशन, सो आप एक दूसरे के मॉडल एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं। सो मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ। एक पंप स्टेशन है, सो पंप स्टेशन में क्या होगा, मैकेनिकल वाले हमें वेट देंगे, वाइब्रेशन देंगे, सो हमारा स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियर उसके हिसाब से उसका स्लैब डिजाइन करेगा, वॉल डिजाइन करेगा। सो जब हम क्रिएट करेंगे 3D मॉडल स्ट्रक्चर का, तो उनका मैकेनिकल का भी हम इसमें एक्सरेप्ट करेंगे। तो मैं शेयर करूंगा वो एक लास्ट में, वो एक टॉपिक है हमारे पास, कोऑर्डिनेशन विद अदर डिसिप्लिन। सो उसमें क्या होता है कि कभी कभी क्लैशिंग होता है, उनका पाइप हमारा बीम को हिट होता है, नहीं तो कॉलम को हिट होता है। सो उसमें हम उनको बोल सकते हैं कि भाई तुम्हारा पाइप का डायरेक्शन चेंज कर लो, नहीं तो कुछ अदर एक्सटेंशन देके एक क्लैश डिटेक्शन 0 होता है। ठीक है ना? सो अगर कल साइड पे जो इश्यू आने वाले वो पहले से ही हमें यहाँ पे पता चल जाती है रेविट में, तो उसको क्लैश डिटेक्शन मिनिमाइज होता है। और दूसरी बात है कि आप उसमें 2D ड्राइंग्स भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं अलॉन्ग विथ 3D। अगर आपने एक हाथ बीम का साइज चेंज किया 3D में, सो बीम का साइज ऑटोमेटिकली आपका 2D में भी अपडेट हो जाएगा। ऐसा नहीं कि ऑटोकैड में कैसा आपको 2D भी अपडेट करना है, जहां जहां पे आपने डाला है वो साइज आपको अपडेट करना है। बिल रेविट में वैसा नहीं है, अगर आप कॉलम साइज चेंज किया आपके हिसाब से, सो हर एक जगह पे वो अपडेट हो जाएगा। सो
अच्छा।
ये थोड़ा बेनिफिट्स है रेविट में।
मीन सर हम
स्टिल
लोग पहले
स्टिल
स्ट्रक्चर को
कैलकुलेशन इसमें
डिजाइन,
नहीं है ना?
सॉरी,
स्टिल कैलकुलेशन
स्टील कैलकुलेशन मीन्स आपको टेकअप क्वांटिटी चाहिए क्या?
मतलब बार वगैरह कैसे कितने का आ रहा है, क्या आ रहा है उसको?
अच्छा अच्छा,
वो
आप
इसमें
रिबार डिटेलिंग बोल रहे हैं।
यस यस यस।
रिबार डिटेलिंग का भी एक ऑप्शन है यहाँ पे, लेकिन कैसा है, वो जस्ट एक न, ये जो ऑटोडेस्क ने ना, ये खाली ऐसे ही डाल दिया है उन्होंने, साइजेस उनका कुछ स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है। अगर आप ये कैसा है, यूके का अगर देखेंगे आप, तो 8666 का जो मैनुअल है, तो उनके हिसाब से ये शेप्स अलग है। सो वो लोग भी डिटेलिंग करते हैं, लेकिन कैसे करते हैं, वो ऑटोडेस्क से परचेस करते हैं एडिंग से। ओके, सो उस केस में क्या होता है, अगर देखो ये यू बार है हमारा, तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने M02 शेप कोड दिया है, लेकिन आप BS8666 देखोगे तो वहां पे 17 नंबर डिफाइन किया है उन्होंने। तो वो कंपनी अगर डिटेलिंग का काम करते हैं तो रेविट में, सो उनको एक्स्ट्रा पैसे दे के प्लगइन्स ऐड करना पड़ता है, फिर वो यहाँ पे बार बेंडिंग शेड्यूल भी निकाल सकते हैं। लेकिन जस्ट लर्निंग पर्पस ऑटोडेस्क ने ये शेप कोड्स दिए हैं। सो ये मैं बताऊंगा जब ये टॉपिक पे हम आएंगे, तो डिटेलिंग कैसे करना है, सो नंबर ऑफ बार्स, स्पेसिंग, तो आपको सब क्वांटिटी वगैरह मिलेगा उसमें।
वो नहीं, एक्चुअल स्टील का कैलकुलेशन जो होता है ना, स्टील कितना मतलब आएगा इसके अंदर। अब एक स्लैब है तो उसमें स्टील डिजाइन का जो पार्ट आएगा वो किसमें, रेविट में होता है कि दूसरे सॉफ्टवेयर में होता
नहीं नहीं, वो आपको स्टैड प्रो में होगा। एनालिसिस का बोल रहे हैं क्या आप?
है?
नहीं नहीं, वो ये रेविट यानी कि आपके 3D मॉडल और 2D शीट्स के लिए, ये डिजाइनिंग के लिए नहीं है।
सर मैं ये
हम
पूछ
लोग
रहा
के
हूँ ये
हिसाब से आप-
सॉरी,
सर मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ ये रेविट का जो रहेगा ये क्या ऑटोकैड में भी चेंज हो सकता है?
ऑटोकैड एक्सपोर्ट हो सकता है, रेविट टू ऑटोकैड में अगर आपको एक्सपोर्ट करना है, सो ऑटोकैड में भी होता है। अगर
और
सपोज
दूसरी
ये फाइल है मेरा, तो ये एक्सपोर्ट होता है, यहाँ पे है ऑप्शन एक्सपोर्ट इनटू द DWG फाइल, यहाँ पे आपको एक्सपोर्ट होता है ये DWG में।
ठीक है सर। और
मीन
दूसरा
सब
सर
लोग
मैं ये कह
पहले
रहा था
सर,
कि
हाँ,
ये जो रिकॉर्डिंग्स हमको मिलती है शाम को क्लास ओवर होने के बाद में मिल जाए, क्योंकि वर्किंग में रहने भी तो हम लोग फिर कर नहीं सकते ना सर, साइट पे जाते
बराबर,
फिर।
हाँ हाँ। नहीं, अभी आज का सेशन हो गया ना, तो कल शाम तक आपको मिल जाएगा वो। तो आप प्रज्ञा से कोऑर्डिनेट करो और उनको बोल दो कि वहाँ पे एंड ऑफ सेशन में उसके बाद तुरंत डाल दो, ऐसा तो आपको मिल जाएगा वहां से।
ठीक है सर, क्योंकि कल भी क्लास रहेगी तो कल की दूसरी क्लास होगी, फिर आदमी करेगा कब
हाँ, तो
काम?
वही ना, कल दोपहर तक आपको ये सेशन मिल जाएगा।
नहीं मैं समझ रहा हूँ सर, दोपहर तक मिलेगा, बट हम लोग ऑफिस चले जाते हैं वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल में, तो फिर हमको फिर समय शाम को मिल पाता ना सर।
हाँ, बराबर। तो आज का सेशन कल शाम को मिल जाएगा ना आपको,
जी जी।
और कल का परसों मिल जाएगा, तो आप रात को प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं सब।
सर इसमें जैसे हम लोग को सबसे पहले रेविट पे प्लानिंग करनी है, देन इसके बाद हम लोग डिजाइनिंग पे शिफ्ट करेंगे।
हाँ, तो कैसा है, नहीं नहीं, आप अगर पहले डिजाइन करना पड़ेगा आपको। आप ये आपको अगर कैलकुलेशंस वगैरह, साइज वगैरह आपने फाइनल किया, सो पैरेलली आप रेविट पे भी मॉडल बना सकते हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा।
ठीक है ना। और आज मार्केट में कैसा है, अगर आपको डिजाइनिंग यानी कि आप एनालिसिस भी करते हैं और ड्राइंग भी क्रिएट करते हैं और 3D भी मूव करते हैं, तो आप एकदम क्या बोलते हो, आपका CV जो है एकदम पावरफुल हो जाएगा, आपको डिमांड होगा फिर। क्योंकि कैसा है कि एक ही बंदा सब काम करता है अभी। आज के डेट में क्या होता है कि इंजीनियर अलग है, डिजाइनर अलग है, ठीक है। तो कंपनी बेनिफिट देखता है अगर एक ही बंदा सब काम करता है, तो ऑलराउंडर है ना। तो ये आपका जो रिविट का जो नॉलेज है, ये खाली नहीं जाएगा, इसको बहुत डिमांड होगा। जब आप रिज्यूम में अपडेट करोगे ना कि वी हैव नॉलेज ऑफ रेविट एंड, तो उसमें बहुत प्लस पॉइंट होगा आपका।
सर तो मतलब सॉरी सर, एक चीज मेरे को कंफर्म करनी थी कि बेसिकली सर जो रिवेट का जो यूज है वो सिर्फ मॉडलिंग के लिए है।
एग्जैक्टली, मॉडलिंग और शीट क्रिएशन। बट मॉडलिंग में खाली कैसा है, अगर आप दूसरे डिसिप्लिन के साथ भी काम करते हैं तो उसमें क्लैश डिटेक्शन रहता है ना, तो वो भी सॉर्ट आउट हो जाएगा। अभी आप जो भी बड़े बड़े कंपनी देखेंगे वहां पे सब लोग बीम पे ही काम करते हैं। तो पहले ऑटोकैड में करते थे, लेकिन अभी एडवांस रेविट पे ही है। तो मोस्टली कंपनी जो भी एमएनसी कंपनी वो बीम रेविट यूज करती है ड्राइंग्स प्रोडक्शन के लिए।
ओके, मतलब ऑटो कैड से एक तरह से बेटर हो गया ये, क्योंकि हमने
ऑटोकैड से 100% स्मूथ, टाइम सेविंग, और आप क्या बोलते हैं विजिबिलिटी जो है ना इसमें ज्यादा है। वो ऑटोकैड में कैसा है, आपको प्लान अगर अपडेट किया तो आपको सेक्शन भी इंडिविजुअल जाके अपडेट करना है। यहाँ पे वैसा नहीं है, अगर आपने एक प्लान बना दिया यहाँ पे तो आपके सेक्शंस वगैरह सब मिल जाएंगे आपको रेडी।
सर अभी तो जैसे कि हमने जैसे हमने अभी आज जो कॉलम पड़ी थी कंक्रीट कॉलम्स थी, अभी इसी में अगर हमें स्टील भी लगानी होगी तो वो भी सारा का सारा काम जो है हमारा हो जाएगा रिवेट से।
यस यस, स्टील का भी आपको मिल जाएगा, स्टील का और कंक्रीट का दोनों ही यहाँ पे। अगर आप कौन से भी एलिमेंट देखो, ये बीम डालो, सो बीम में आपको दो टाइप के दिखेंगे, एक तो कंक्रीट का दिखेगा और एक अपना एसएचएस यूबी। आपको जो टाइप चाहिए वो आप लोड कर सकते लाइब्रेरी से। सो यहाँ पे एक ऑप्शन है लोड फैमिली। सो जब हम स्टील पे आएंगे ना, मैं आपको पूरा डिटेल में बताऊंगा कि स्टील मॉडल कैसा करते हैं, राफ्टर कैसे डालते हैं, पर्लिन्स कैसे डालते हैं।
स्टील मॉडलिंग में तो वो स्पेसिफिकली स्टील स्ट्रक्चर हो गया, मतलब ये जो हमारा जो कंक्रीट वाला है ये आरसीसी है सर या फिर सिर्फ कंक्रीट है?
ये आरसीसी है ना।
अच्छा, ये
रिबार
आरसीसी।
दिखाएगा क्या अंदर का? वो
हाँ,
वो बोल रहे
अभी
हैं रिबार
रीबार।
दिखाएगा।
अच्छा
रीबार
अच्छा,
दिखाने का पूछ रहा
यस
था मैं।
यस। रीबार में कैसा है, 2D ड्राइंग्स में हम स्केमेटिक रीबार दिखाते हैं। सो फॉर एग्जांपल अभी, सो
सर लाइक सॉरी सर, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल है ना, हमारे कॉलम के अंदर मैंने 4 बार लगाई है, उसके साथ में मैंने
हाँ
क्या है कि उसकी
बराबर
कनेक्टिविटी के लिए मैंने क्या है आगे वो भी लगा दिए, क्या बोलते हैं जो रेक्टेंगुलर टाइज होती है, मैंने वो
बराबर
भी लगा
बराबर।
दी, तो वो चीजें
यस
इसमें
यस।
विजिबल हो जाएगी क्या,
सो
ये पूछ रहा था।
यस यस, सो हम जब ड्राइंग बनाते हैं ना तो ये 2D वर्क कर सकते हैं उसमें। सो फॉर एग्जांपल ये मेरा कॉलम है और ये मेरी फुटिंग है, बराबर। सो यहाँ पे मैं हम ऐसे बार शो कर सकते हैं इंडिकेटिवली। So suppose this is my U bar, top U bar and this is my bottom bar. So ये हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, ये अदर डायरेक्शन के बार है। उसके बाद हम ऐसे डॉवेल्स दे सकते हैं, यहाँ पे स्केमेटिक ड्रॉ स्केच कर सकते हैं इसमें 2D में ही। फिर ये इसके मेन बार आ गए, फिर ये इसके मेन बार, फिर यहाँ से हम लिंक्स दे सकते हैं। सो लिंक्स का यहाँ से कितना स्पेसिंग कहाँ तक है, तो ये यहाँ पे दे सकते हैं। सपोज R10 150 लिंक्स, ये आपका आ गया H16 टॉप एंड बॉटम, ईच वे टॉप एंड बॉटम। तो ये स्केच हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं इसमें रेविट में। सो यहाँ पे अगर आप गए ना तो यहाँ पे एक शीट का ऑप्शन है, ये शीट अरेंज करके आप यहाँ पे प्लान सेक्शन सब डिटेल सब दिखा सकते हैं यहाँ पे। सो ये आपका 3D पार्ट है यहाँ पे। और ये आपको अगर 2D बनाना है तो ये शीट्स रहते हैं। अगर आप देखो यहाँ पे मैं न्यू शीट किया, सो ये बाय डिफॉल्ट ऑटोडेस्क का टेम्पलेट है ना, तो ये मैंने ओके किया। सो ये टेम्पलेट है, ये देखो ये अभी यहाँ पे क्लिक किया तो ये S01 ड्राइंग। सो यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ ड्राइंग्स आप ऐड कर सकते हैं। फिर इस पे हम प्लान सेक्शन डिटेल सभी चीजें दिखाएंगे। सो इसमें क्या होगा, आपका ड्राइंग्स भी होगा और 3D भी होगा। सो ये 1 बाय 1 मैं बताऊंगा आपको कैसे। तो
ओके
आफ्टर
सर।
13 सेशन होने के बाद आप मॉडल क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, 2D ड्राइंग्स बना सकते हैं। अगर आप अभी आपके जो भी क्लास में कुछ डमी प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है तो आप उसका भी मॉडल बना सकते हैं, पैरेलली उसके भी स्टोरी बना सकते हैं।
ओके सर।
सो कुछ डाउट्स है और ग्रिड लाइंस कॉलम्स में? सो कल हम देखेंगे उसमें बीम्स कैसे ऐड करते हैं, बीम्स के बाद स्लैब, स्लैब के बाद हम देखेंगे वो आपके दूसरा और कौन से एलिमेंट्स है स्टील एलिमेंट स्लैब में, कैसे ओपनिंग्स कैसे ऐड करते हैं, वॉल्स कैसे करते हैं। अगर आपका वॉल है वॉल विथ फुटिंग है, तो उसको कैसे कंटिन्यूअस फुटिंग कैसे देते हैं वो देखेंगे। अगर इसमें लेवल डिफरेंस है, सो सपोज ये मेरा वॉल ऐसा नीचे जा रहा है, सॉरी सपोज ये इसमें डिफरेंस है लेवल, सो यहाँ पे स्टेप फुटिंग कैसे डालेंगे, सो ये सारी चीजें हम देखेंगे वन बाय वन।
सर सपोज करिए कोई रिटेनिंग वॉल है, उसका सेक्शन काटते हैं तो क्या अंदर स्टील हमें दिखाई पड़ेगा जो, या फिर मतलब वो हमें
नहीं
बनाना
सर, नहीं
पड़ेगा?
नहीं नहीं, हमें वो 2D में बनाना पड़ेगा,
वो
ठीक है।
2D में बनाना
हाँ,
जी।
अगर आप डिटेलिंग करते उसमें ये जो रेनफोर्समेंट अगर डाले हुए, तो अगर आप सेक्शन कट, सपोज ये रेनफोर्समेंट मैंने डाला और मैंने सेक्शन कट किया, तो उसमें दिख जाएंगे आपको ये वाले। अगर मैंने स्कीमेटिक डाला है खाली स्केच, तो वो नहीं दिखेंगे, ये दिखेंगे। मैं बताता हूँ दोनों में क्या फर्क है।
सर जैसे है ना, हमारे स्टार्ट रो के अंदर से ग्रिड लाइंस पे भी काम कर सकते थे, विदाउट ग्रिड लाइंस भी कर सकते थे, लेकिन रिविट में हमें स्पेसिफिकली पहले ग्रिड लाइंस बनाने पड़ेंगे।
ये
उसके
डिपेंड,
बाद
कैसा है सर, ये डिपेंड आप पे है। अगर आप G+3 कर रहे हैं तो ग्रिड लाइंस बनाने ही है आपको, क्योंकि कैसा है, अगर आपका ड्राइंग अगर साइट पे जाएगा तो उनको कुछ रेफरेंस चाहिए ना,
यस सर।
तो ग्रिड लाइन बनाना है आपका। अगर मल्टी स्टोरेज बिल्डिंग है और नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स, नंबर ऑफ वर्टिकल एंड हॉरिजॉन्टल ग्रिड्स है, तो आपको बनाना ही है वो ग्रिड लाइंस। अगर आपका छोटा चेम्बर है तो उस केस में आपको नहीं बनाने का है ग्रिड्स।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
यस, वेलकम। यस
सर आप वो दिखा रहे थे रिटेनिंग वॉल का?
क्या? हाँ, स्टेप डिफरेंस
जी जी।
ये बताया ना फिर मैंने, 1 मिनट में। ओके, सो ये मेरा सपोज, सॉरी, ये मेरा रिटेनिंग वॉल है, ठीक है, और यहाँ से ये मेरा कंटिन्यूअस फुटिंग है यहाँ से, लेकिन ये यहाँ पे ऐसा यहाँ से स्टेप आ रहा है, ठीक है। तो ये हम स्टेप मॉडल भी कर सकते हैं ऐसा, ऐसा। सो ये डिपेंड्स, ये कितना डिफरेंस है, तो आप ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं कि नहीं तो स्टेप फुटिंग भी दे सकते हैं, ऐसे ऐसे भी दे सकते हैं। सो ये कैसे मॉडल करना है ये हम सीखेंगे यहाँ पे, ठीक है। सो सबके पास है रेविट, इंस्टॉलेशन किया है ऑलरेडी?
मेरा तो ड्यू चल रहा है, बस
जी
वो
सर,
आज।
अभी मेरे में इंस्टॉल नहीं हुआ है।
हाँ, तो आप कोऑर्डिनेट करके इंस्टॉल कर लो एज सुन एज।
यस सर, आज हो जाएगा इंस्टॉल, फिर कल से मतलब आज से प्रैक्टिस शुरू हो जाएगी, अगर आज पूरा इंस्टॉल हो जाएगा।
यस यस यस, ओके सर, थैंक
थैंक
यू,
यू, थैंक यू सर।
गुड नाइट, सी यू टुमारो।
थैंक
थैंक्स
यू।
सर, गुड नाइट।
गुड नाइट सर।